trying to catch up and whatnot. It's crazy.
Damn.
I was done. Then I had to get other stuff done today. I was just kind of like, okay, this is too much. Hey, what's up, everybody? Everybody hear us out there? Cool. Listen, we are now just testing things out, right? So today is going to be the Odyssey spoiler review and GainsCon updates, all right? So it's me, Barry Gaines, and my man, Justin Green from Green Screen YouTube. And we have our channel, which is Mission Movie Reviews. Check it out on YouTube. You know what I mean? We're trying to build, so help us out. Also, we are also GainsCon Film Festival in Las Vegas coming this December 4th and 5th. And Mr. Justin Green just became our director of marketing. So anyone out there listening, give him a heads up, tell him what's up, tell him congratulations, all that stuff. It's about to be getting a whole new realm of just stuff for GainsCon. We get to the next level. And thanks to Justin Green, we're going to get there. So right now we're testing things out. So if anyone out there can't hear us, let us know. So I'm gonna go to the chat here, see if anybody else is popping up and whatnot. So today, what we're doing tonight is, if you're up, it's going to be Odyssey, the Odyssey, right? Spoiler review tonight, guys. Odyssey discussions. Now, before we get into the whole Odyssey things, guys, let you know this: we're not scholars of the Odyssey, all right? I'm not having Ithaca on my brain or whatnot. I don't have all the cliff notes and shit. So just let you know, don't roll out there and start throwing some Odyssey chapter 10 on me. We're not that. We are spoiling what we saw, okay? Justin saw it. I saw it. You know what I mean? Justin already reviewed it on Green Screen on YouTube, so check out for his personal review. But tonight, we're going to do a spoiler review about everything we liked or didn't like about the Odyssey, because Odyssey has just broken ground in movie making. And we just want to be part of that by doing this tonight. So anyone out there that sees us, that hears us, say what's up, hello. And if you want to chime in as we are chiming. So, all right, let's get to it, man. All right, I have to pull up some notes here and whatnot because we're live
real quick,
tonight,
we're on both our channels, yeah?
Yeah, so right now,
okay.
All right, so everyone out there who's looking at us, you're just going to have to just hold up for a second because I want to check on my phone and make sure that we're all live. Yes, we're live on Mission Movie Review, which is our channel, which is nice. Let's see, the Instagram channel. I think we're live. I don't know how they let us know. But I know why. I know what's up. Okay, here we go. All right. So now we are going live on Instagram. So, oh man, you know what? We're all over the place. I hope they fix this for Instagram because we are not centered in this. So if you guys can't see us or it looks weird on Instagram, just let us know. We're working off of Riverside. Hey, Riverside, what's up? We're trying to do the Instagram feed here, and it's not being centered from what I can see. So, all right. So now we're going to go to Facebook. I got both my pages up. Cool. I'm up there. Justin, how's your YouTube page looking?
Let me check it out real quick.
All right, cool. Let's see. It looks like my GainsCon is up on Facebook, but not the Barry Gaines. I thought I had that going.
So it looks like I'm up on mine.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was testing a bunch of stuff on my channel like a while back. Yeah. And so right now, I think for some reason, on my side, what I can see is it says, "Welcome to my test." So I don't know why it says that on mine.
I don't know.
But it appears that the video is up there, so
we're just gonna let it ride. All right, cool. So I got mine up. You got Green Screen is up. We have GainsCon Film Festival on Facebook is up. We have Instagram, GainsCon Film Festival Instagram site is up, but it's not centered right from what I can see. So I'm not exactly sure it's actually working the way it needs to. So I don't know what's up with that. Because I'm looking at it, I'm live now, but it's not coming up like on my side as live. I don't know. Let me see. Let me go somewhere else and see if it's coming up that way. Give me a sec, guys. Yeah. All right. Well, it's up. All right, let's get to it. Let's get right to it. We got a few things up and going. Anyone out there that can see us, let us know and whatnot. So right now we are up on Instagram. We're up on Facebook, Gainescon Film Festival. We're up on Green Screen, Justin's personal YouTube page, as well as Gainescon Media Incorporated YouTube page as well. So check it out. Also, Mission Movie Reviews, which is ours, by the way. So our place. So if you're out there, say hello. What's up? All right, so let's get to it. So the Odyssey. Starring everyone in Hollywood, but directed by Christopher Nolan. All right. So we have, so of course we have, what's his face? We got Matt Damon as Odysseus. Say his name again, Justin?
Odysseus.
Odysseus, right. I'm not good with these Greek names, so bear with me, peeps. Bear with us. If we fumble, it's okay. It's what we do. You know, Odysseus, right? You got Anne Hathaway as his wife. You have Spider-Man as his son. You know who he is. I'm just playing around with the names. And then you have some hip-hop guys in there too and whatnot. You had Lupita Nyong'o, which I think she's fine as hell, is playing, not Athena. Who is she playing again? Helen of Troy. Yes. She's in there for like, I don't know, a hot 2 minutes. I mean, damn. So we'll get into all that stuff, controversy, whatever, supposedly, whatever about it. But anyway, I went to see it. Justin went to see it. I went to see it in IMAX. I didn't have a chance to see it in 70 millimeter because, number one, this movie is the first movie in history to be totally filmed in 70 millimeter IMAX. The IMAX freaking system, the first one. And let me tell you, I went to see in the IMAX, not the theater that actually has like the print, but I still saw it. Number one, I guess everyone who saw it noticed that bitch was loud, yo. Good Lord. I love it. I love it loud, bro. Justin, was yours loud?
I mean, there's definitely parts where it was like loud, but I don't think it was ever overbearingly loud. I never felt like there was an issue with the audio for me.
Right.
But we'll talk about that for sure.
Okay, yeah. Because we were talking about the audio sometime with Christopher Nolan's, movies and all that stuff. And let me tell you something. I had no problem with his movies when it comes to audio. I don't know if you guys are just used to the whole TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that, everything coming clear through someone's phone. But when it comes to cinema, some things are purposely done because you're watching a world that's created for you. And there's going to be elements in the real world that's not going to be crystal clear. Just like real life. You go out in the street, someone may say your name, and you're like, what? Because that's what happens in life. You know what I mean? And you just say, what? And, oh, yeah. Well, that's what Christopher Nolan's doing. You may hear something and you go, huh? What? And he'll wrap it up later. Just keep listening. So everyone out there who has an issue with his movies, with the sound and everything, I don't know, that's a you problem, but I don't have a problem with it. Anyway, so you know what? I've been yapping. We have a lot to yap about. Justin, first things first. What do you think about Odyssey? You went to see it. What's up?
So this movie is a masterpiece. It's perfection. I'm not sure how you see it any other way. And I will say that, number one, overall thoughts on the film, like Barry was talking about, we're not scholars of the Odyssey. I didn't read the book when I was in school. I did everything I could to avoid reading it. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
so with movies like Gladiator, Troy, things of that nature, 300, as unbelievable as 300 may be, right? All those types of things. To me, the culmination of all the things that were great about movies like that came before this has been brought to fruition by Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan being the type of director that he is, like you're talking about with sound, he's going to make that choice to make you a little annoyed at times with maybe the volume or the lack of volume or the muffling of certain things. But at the end of the day, like Barry was talking about, he's going to wrap everything up in the way that you need it to be to have understood the film when you leave the theater. You feel me? So this movie, on a standpoint of the realism, the verisimilitude, the way that he filmed, the giants, the scene with the pigs, that shit was crazy. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute.
That's
you know what
crazy.
I'm saying? The stuff on the high seas, and the way that it was like in the storm, things of that nature, the way that he dealt with the gods and given that like, you know, a grounded feel and sense, the way that he kind of structured the movie from the very beginning when we first meet Odysseus and how we meet him, kind of like in Desperado, when Steve Buscemi is talking about the light dims just for him. You think you're about to see his face, but you don't. That's the beginning of the movie.
Hell yeah.
And then in the end of the movie, same shit. We'll talk about that in a minute, my God. Right? But just the way,
no doubt.
Just the way that he crafted everything and the way he does it in all of his movies, whether you understand the film or not, like other movies. But with this one, the way he crafted it, and then also at the same time, this is a straight old school period piece film, right? Which is not always accessible to everyone. So for someone like Barry and myself, who are not Odyssey scholars, if we weren't into all types of movies, which we are, but if we weren't and we went into the theater, be like, man, I don't know, I can't follow this, the way they're talking, the this, the that, the other thing. This movie blended extremely well. Chris Nolan's vision, a vision that's accessible for pretty much anybody that wants to go see this movie.
That's right.
And then people that love the Odyssey. And if you have done a little bit of research, and by research, I mean your Googles, then you would know that most film fans, movie purists, right, scholars and people like that are all chiming in to say Chris Nolan did a phenomenal job with this material. So from handling the material well, to dope-ass direction and directional choices that he made, which again we'll get into in a minute, specifically the acting from top to bottom on point. Everybody fit extremely well. Someone like John Leguizamo stands out even better than you would have expected.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like for real, talk about him in a minute. You dig what I'm saying? And then it's a long-ass movie. For me, it did not feel long. Okay, I mean, I ain't gonna front. I was tired when I went to go see it, but it still did not feel long to me. I was on the edge of my seat for everything. And then the way that things build up over here, sometimes that's why you need a long form story, because you have to let some things sit and marinate before you can actually allow the climax or the conclusion to come to fruition. If you don't have this over here, marinating, building, understanding what everybody's going through, then when it actually comes to fruition, you're kind of like, oh, okay, that was cool, but you don't feel it. And in the end of this movie, boy, you feel that shit. So I was like, yes, I cannot wait to see this motherfucker again. And I said in my review, I didn't get to see this one in IMAX or Limax, as they call it, where it's like fake IMAX or 70 millimeter or anything. I saw it at Cinemark, but Cinemark has a pretty good presentation. It was in XD. So it was nice, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, XD, so,
I probably won't get around to being able to, you know, go see it. It's a 3-hour damn movie. I got a lot of shit to do. But still, beautiful in any format, I would imagine.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think this is a masterpiece. It's not perfect, but I think it's still one of those where it's going to be one of the probably the top 10 movies of all time. I cannot see how it cannot be. Just what he did with the film when it comes down to the aesthetics, when it came down to just telling the story that maybe, you know, a lot of people know, but then a whole lot of other people don't even know. See, that's what's so great about Christopher Nolan. Let me just get into his storytelling prowess as opposed to other filmmakers. One thing what tells you a master filmmaker is that you can actually explain something to someone that has no idea what it's about, even if it's true. Maybe it's part of some, you know, scholar literature or something, and you say, you know what, I am going to explain this to you through this film medium. And you're going to understand it and going to like it, and you're going to call me great. And that's what Christopher did, because those that, just like Justin said, he was in school, he looking at the time when he was young, like, Odyssey, man, come out of here, yo. Let me get some Run DMC or something. And that was the same way. I didn't care about that. I was like, okay, cool. I like the big stuff. Give me Terminator. Give me Aliens, you know, at the time years ago, you know. I wasn't reading Odyssey, but now when Odyssey came out, we know it's about the Greek mythology. We all know about Zeus and everyone else and you know, all the guys that are out there, Athena and everything else. But we never really seen too many movies like that. There are some classics out there, like Excalibur and such. Clash of the Titans to be the favorite one, but that's another story. But this one here, he's like, listen, I want to show you what Odyssey is about. Let me tell you guys, agree with me or not, he showed you what it's about. He gave you the spectrum of this world. He put the right actors in the right spot. He couldn't put everything that's in the book. So all you guys out there who are Odyssey nerds, shut up. We know how this works. If you want the whole thing, read a book, okay? I always say as a filmmaker, pretty much a movie are the highlights of a larger story. That's what a movie is. It's the highlights of a larger story. He's getting right to it. And those out there who want him to speak Greek and how it was in the book, guys, come on. Come on. Come on. Would you stop it already? You know, he's here to explain it. You know what I mean?
Look at Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. Now, I remember seeing Romeo and Juliet when I was in school. Funny story about that, but that's for another time. But when I saw that in school, I was like, all right, it's whatever. But Baz Luhrmann brought something new, fresh, told the same basic story, gave you the same plots, the same morals, values, love, and all of that. But he put his own flair on it. Again, look at who was it that did the Noah movie with Russell Crowe? I
didn't even know. I don't think I saw that one, but I know what you mean. Not Wolfgang Peterson, is it?
The name is no. It was the same dude that did Requiem for a Dream. The name is escaping me right now. But anyways, that guy. I remember a lot of people that was into the Bible were like, "Oh hell yeah, Noah coming to the big screen, let's do it!" Right? And that movie was so crazy different with like rock giants and shit. And these people that were all about the Bible were pissed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Barry said.
Darren Aronofsky,
right? Yeah, he's the same guy that brought us Mother, where they're like eating a baby or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So
great director though.
Filmmakers are going to give you their own creative slant to things, right? Right. But with Chris Nolan doing it, you're going to get something that's kind of brought the same way he did with Batman, that's a lot more grounded and again, accessible. So if you're a big fan, like I know for me, I'm a huge fan of DC, right? And a lot of people that just jumped on the bandwagon with comic book movies in the past like 20 years who haven't read a comic book in their life, but act like they know everything about comics, will just be like, DC sucks. But they're basing that off of the films. Fair point. Again, argument for another time. Right. But if you actually read the material, let's actually have a discussion about what you do or don't like. So for people out there who really love the Odyssey, I would be excited if I was one of those types of people who knows the story, read the book. I would be one of those people who's excited saying, hey, more people are enjoying what I also love. And now we can also have a deeper conversation. Maybe I can put them up on that knowledge. So again, it's all good.
Yeah, no, you're right, because he does. I mean, because it's for the world to be educated on Odyssey and the story of I always say his name wrong. Odysseus. I can't say his name for some reason. I don't know why. Odysseus, right? I'll get it one day before this stream is done. Odysseus. But anyway, for his whole like story, his 20-year journey of just pretty much getting home. I mean, that's the pretty much key. He went to Troy, did what he had to do, didn't feel nice about it. And then, he's trying to get home and shit happens. He started going to different islands and different places and start, meeting different creatures and places and environments that, got him pretty much almost killed. And pretty much, we can get to that later, his whole crew done. So it's like, it just wasn't a good expedition. But they last for a while, though. I mean, 20 years is a long time, yo. To be with anyone for 20 years, you got to give yourself a pat on the back, you know what I mean? But yeah, I have to agree with that. Anyway, so anyone who wants to see Odyssey, please go see it. Don't worry about like how they're speaking and everything. He just wants you to understand the story yourself, and you can take it however you want it. But I'm telling you this, I'm going to agree with Justin too. This is a masterpiece. This is a movie that is so well crafted, put together so nicely, it's so smooth, and it's easy to take in. And let me tell you, it's creepy as well. Yo, Justin.
Yeah, let's talk about
the
some
creepiness.
Of these moments. Because it was like,
let's get into it. Let's
two
get into
moments. If y'all seen the Odyssey or you know the story, whatever, two moments. One, the Cyclops.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, right? This is what you're here for. One, the Cyclops. Two, Cersei's with the pigs. But yo, that Cyclops shit, I was like, first of all, I like the design of the Cyclops.
Me too.
Definitely looks different from like definitely looks different from like original, you know what I'm saying? But you're thinking like, okay, it's a Cyclops. How are you gonna kind of make this look not just believable, but like be taken serious? Because there's two different elements there. There's, do I take it serious, and then do I believe it in this world that you're creating? And if the world that you're creating around the Cyclops is like ultra realistic, ultra grounded, then the Cyclops has to be, manipulated just a little bit. And so the way that it was almost like his face was kind of sideways and you only were able to see one eye, that shit was unsettling. And then when he picks up that one dude and straight chomps on him, And then you see the blood and the way it looked. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy about that scene, Justin, was like, okay, so Justin was talking about the Cyclops. Yes, the design of it is creepy the way it is. And what really makes it creepy, because you always see the Cyclops in all stories, in all kinds of fairy tales or whatever, right? His eyes look like ours. This one is actually vertical. So right then and there, it looks a little odd, you know? Then his skin has like a kind of a weird, like spotty, almost like vanilla look to it or whatever. You know, and he's tall, he's lanky. It looks like he's not all there. Like he's not that conscious. Like I think he has bad eyesight.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the key, right? He has bad eyesight. So everything is about feel, it's about smell, it's about, you know, hearing. So he has real bad eyesight, although he has one big ass eye. But then, yeah, like you said, when he chomped that cat, the only thing that threw me off there, I'm like, I guess that's all right because they were keeping quiet. So all right, so spoiler alert, guys. What Justin was talking about is this. He grabs a guy, he chomps on him, blood comes out his mouth, right? So the guys below, yeah, I mean, he just kind of like, yeah, like you know, some chicken. So Odysseus down below and his boys is looking up like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? So they're all kind of like really quiet. And all of a sudden, then it looks like, I guess the Cyclops didn't really hear them. And he just kind of just settled down like he got enough. You know, it's like he got up, got some milk from the fridge, was all good for the man's the milk, by the way. You know what I'm saying? He got his little chomp on. He like, yo, I'm good. And he just went down to sleep. So I was like, okay, I guess he got what he needed. He was done because they were real quiet. They're like, oh, what the fuck? So yeah. So that was creepy. There's some other stuff too about that.
I like when they were like and again, the thing that I like about like a movie like this, or just a movie where someone like just takes their time putting you through the paces, letting you see how things go. They don't just like rush into it. Is like we see them trying to contemplate, how are we going to get out of here? You know what I mean? And then when they stab dude in the eye, because they basically stab him in the eye trying to take him out or whatever, right? I like how they kind of set that up like, all right, this, that, the other, boom. And then the way that he screamed, right?
Oh,
again,
man,
these creative choices. It could have sounded like anything. But the way that he screamed was like unsettling in of itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That
so it's
sound
like,
was crazy.
Like creepy as fuck. I like how when they're running out of the cave, you don't really you see the Cyclops, you know what I'm saying? But you don't see him. Like they did a great job kind of hiding him behind the trees a little bit. And then when the camera's like on the ground with them running back to the boats, you can see him, and you see enough of the Cyclops to understand, yo, this is a big old giant ass Cyclops. It looks good. It looks real. It looks grounded enough, but it's never like just straight up like there in a way to, for a moment it's going to take you out of it. But again, however they filmed it, however they did the CGI or whatever it was, I didn't do the research on that. But it just looked phenomenal. That shit was like
it looked real. It really did. And now I don't know how accurate it is in the book as opposed to what we saw in the movies when it came down to that Cyclops. Is that it took them a little while to get out. So it wasn't like they were there for a day. They kind of figured it out. Some people died and whatnot, and they figured themselves out. They were there like for days. Like it looked like it was just days. They were just kind of there for a couple of days and trying to figure out how to get the hell out, because the Cyclops used to like lock the cage up with this huge ass boulder that they could not move. And this thing was like freaking, I guess it was like maybe 7 stories tall, something like that, 6 stories tall. So they couldn't move that thing. And he used to let's close it, right? Then he had the sheep. I guess the sheep was there for food, I guess. I wasn't sure exactly where the sheep kind of lied in. I guess they were for food because they didn't really explain that. Guys, we didn't read the book, so I'm not sure. So let us know, what was the sheep for? You know what I mean? Because it's like he had no clothes, he had no shoes on. It wasn't like he was all comfy. I don't know what the sheep was for, but the sheep were there, and there was a lot of them. So when they escaped, you know, they found some stuff. Okay, first of all, they escaped, right? But they didn't escape, like we just mentioned, without some casualties. Okay, people were getting got. When they tried to get away the first time, oh, that was a bad idea, you know. But some got away, I think. And then Odysseus is inside with his boys still after like a couple of days. But they figure a way out, right? They put some stuff on their back to make it feel like they're sheep, because just like Justin mentioned earlier, that because we gave it away, guys. So this is a spoiler review, all spoilers. To remind us right there on the bottom. So we're talking about the whole movie. We're just gonna go crazy on this. When they like got the heat and they put that bad boy in his eye, and then they went ahead and did they stick him like in the neck too? Justin, what was that? It was just the eye, right? Okay, I thought they had a double point. I wasn't sure. Okay, I thought they stuck him in the
maybe
neck a
they
little
did.
bit too, right?
Maybe
Remember they
did.
were like this, and he was like,
I think they did the eye, and then at one point he was like sitting up or standing up, and then a nice little spear to the throat.
Yeah. So they got him good. They got him good. And I just have to say this. I have to bring it back to Justice said about the scream. I'm not gonna like lessen the scream. That sound that they did for the scream, I've never heard that sound before in my life. Yeah, that was a creepy cry. And I'm like, wow. And there was some thought going into that sound, because when you hear that cry, wow.
So you ever seen that movie? You've seen Fifth Element with Bruce Willis. Classic, y'all. Come on. Right. You haven't seen Fifth Element, you gotta watch that movie. It's great. Yeah. The blue alien lady that was singing in the end of the Fifth Element. Right. I remember watching like a behind the scenes thing, and they used sounds that no human vocal cords could make, because it's an alien. So she can't she's not definitely going to be sounding like us. She's going to have abilities that we don't have. So again, the way Christopher Nolan and other directors that are like, you know, as sharp and as creative as him would probably do things is they're going to give you something in a certain situation where it's like, we can't either A, we can't make that sound, or B, it's just something that we're never really going to hear, you know, by our own ears. So the fact that this thing sounds like that, because if it sounded like a person screaming, you'd be like, well, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Right. It's got to be different. It's a completely different creature. You feel me?
Right.
The other crazy horrific scene that I loved oh my God, let's talk about this.
Let's get into that.
The direction of was Cersei's. And so when they get, so just for y'all, you know what I'm saying, when they get to this one island and they're like fucking hella hungry, they're starving, and they're trying to figure things out, and they see this like, you know, house up on this hill. And right now, Odysseus is like, hey, yo, I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna check some shit out, maybe try to catch this deer or whatever like that. You know what I mean? The other dudes go up to this house, and the hold on, I wrote her name. What's this chick's name?
What's her name?
Her name
I got it right here. I love her.
Martin. Samantha Martin.
Samantha Martin.
When I first saw her, I was like, oh shit, she was a precog in Minority Report.
Exactly. That's what I became a fan with her from Minority Report. Exactly.
That's where I know her from. She was Agatha in Minority Report. She was on the precog. So it's kind of funny because like for a brief second, in the Minority Report, in the end, when they're like just in that random house in some random island or some shit, I was like, oh shit, that's where she lives. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Anyway.
That's where she was.
That's where she wound up. Right? So anyways, besides that, so dudes go up to the house and she's just real creepy. You know what I'm saying? There's like an eerie way about her. And so she's like, all right, you know, come inside. You guys are hungry? All right, I got some food for you. Take off your armor and your weapons. And you're thinking, all right, you know, I guess you probably don't want that shit in the house, you know me or whatever. And one thing leads to another. In this scene, it just builds up with the score. My God. What's the guy's name? Ludwig Göransson or something like that?
Ludwig Göransson. Yeah, that's my dog, bro.
This dude, Ryan Coogler's right-hand composer. And this dude is friggin' up. For me, he's getting up there with like your John Williams, your Hans Zimmers, you know what I'm saying? Your Michael Giacchinos. This guy is putting in work. Yeah. But anyways, so the scene starts to unfold gradually. You see these dudes eating, and they're just like very happy. So every scene in a movie where someone ain't eating for a while, it's the same shit. But then it starts to turn. It starts to turn like sinister and shit. And she's like walking around him. And then next thing you know, as they're eating, it's just getting like real close up on their mouths and the food and all this sort of stuff. And you're seeing them eat the meat and whatnot. And then she starts like molding them into pigs. And there's practical effects. There's some camera trickery. There's probably a minor amount of CGI. But I'm going to tell you like this. Any of y'all out there who love your creature effects and your shit like that, you know American Werewolf in London. And that's one of the most famous movies for some creature effects. This shit was like American Werewolf in London level creature effects. I'm talking about John Carpenter, The Thing level creature effect type shit when she's like molding them into pigs. And it was so seamless. Again, we're talking about a director who wants everything in camera as much as possible, who wants everything as grounded as much as possible. And this shit looked like reality. So fuck, like that shit was, it was creepy, man.
That was like unnerving, bro.
It was creepy,
yo.
And then
I didn't know, man. It was crazy.
And then when Odysseus is like down in the meadow or whatever like this, and he shoots the deer, right? Because there's like animals, like as they're walking up there. I'm not sure what the symbolism was behind that
Oh,
or
I know
whatever.
that. Those are people.
Oh shit! Oh, so maybe okay. So maybe
Those are
if
people.
so
I believe.
if the troops, because in the end, I'm getting ahead of myself. So bottom line is Odysseus shoots a deer. He sees it's a person. He's like, oh shit. He goes up there, probably knows what's going down. He basically talks her into bringing them back as his men, right? And when she does, she says, they're pigs. This is who they are. They're filthy. They're just like, you know, they're hungry for whatever. And then as she puts them back into their human forms, she says, go back into your disguises. So she's saying, this is what your men really are. Now go back into your disguises, and she does her little, you know, claymation situation, right? So then if their disguises was humans and these are really pigs, then would the tiger or the lion or whatever, would those be people of honor that were like that she turned into?
No, I think like, they came into their, I guess, being, I guess, similar to those creatures, like someone coming as a lion, you know, coming in probably a brute, taking things, pushing her aside, just eating her food, maybe just doing stuff like that. Like a lion would, he just takes over. So maybe that's the case because, like you said, when Odysseus actually kills that deer for food, because his boys is up in the house and whatnot, talking to this woman, to Cersei, he sees like, you know, the person turns into like a person. It's like he's dead. He's like, oh shit. So he knew. Now it's funny. Let me roll that back just for real quick. When he got to the island, right? I don't think he knew what was happening. Once he hit the deer, like I just mentioned, he figured it out. But what took me, and I think that maybe it was just me because I wasn't sure of the story, when after she turned those guys into pigs and he came in, the way that he hustled himself in, where he was like, yeah, I think I'm here alone. She's like, you're here alone? He's like, yeah. So I felt like, was it the island taking over them? You know, at first, that's what I thought. It kind of leaned me into that because the way he was answering Cersei, because Cersei was asking questions, and she was like confirming some of the things that she was saying to him, like, "Hey, are you here by yourself?" "Yes, I am." "Yeah, it was just me," and all this stuff. And he comes in, he goes, "Oh, wow, you got a lot of pigs." She's like, "Yeah, pick one of the pigs, and you can eat whatever you want. Just pick a pig, and you can slaughter it. In fact, you know what? Here's a knife. Won't you go and do it yourself?" I'm like, damn. And he got the knife. So I'm thinking like, yo, is the island like turning him into that? Like he's forgetting and whatnot, But I think, like you said, Justin, he kind of knew already. He was just hustling the whole moment. You know what I mean? He was just kind of like shaping it. He was like, nah, you know what? I don't want that. And I think when he sat down with her,
Yeah, I think he knew something was going on, and something was going on up at that house when he saw that the deer that he shot was a person. So I think he was going in there, and it's kind of like a negotiation type thing. Like I think he was just holding his cards. She was holding her cards, and he was just calling her on her. She was trying to call him on his bluff, and she was trying to call. He was trying to call her on her bluff. And I
wonder, so I cut you off, but I was wondering too, man. I wonder if he was familiar with that type of creature, like Cersei, because he came in knowing that he came in very soft, unthreatening. Just saying, yes, I'm by myself. I'm not doing anything. He was talking soft. Like he was like working it. Like he knew I got to be easy with this bitch. For real. I got to call her that, bro, because she is that. Trust me. When you see her, you're like, damn, bitch, crazy. But she all by herself too. But yeah, when he came real subtle. So when you see the movie, guys, look at how Matt Damon came into the house. He was like, I am not threatening. You know what I mean? It's just me. You know what I mean? But like you say, yeah. And then I think before he came in, when he saw the pigs there, there was no one on the island. Like his boys are like, come on, you're gonna hear those cats from like 2 miles away. Those cats are hungry and they're loud. He go up there, he's like, yo, where my boys at? And I see pigs. He's like, oh damn. All right.
Yeah, that whole portion was like just so
like they're shaping up their head and whatnot, right? Like the way they did it was magnificent, bro. Because I didn't know what they were doing. It was creepy at first. It was like a horror movie. Like all of a sudden they start gorging and they couldn't stop. Yeah. And at first there was like this. It was like a white fat or something, Justin? Something come from their mouth. It was like they all had this white.
I think it was like it was like the meat that they were eating in there. It was like whatever the vegetables were and whatever like this, and then the meat was like long and stringy.
And it was like this long white pin, and it just and it couldn't stop. you know? So I was like, and then she came
And
around doing all this.
And again, that's what I loved most about it, is just the way that it built over that time. And then she gets in there and you're kind of like figuring things out, like, oh shit, it's about to get real.
But so you know what too? I tell you this too, Justin. Samantha Morton's like performance in that one little scene. I think that although she's been around for a long time in Hollywood making films, I think people have just been reminded how bad she was. Because when she was in Minority Report, she took over that. I mean, yes, it was Tom Cruise doing this thing. It was exciting, but she was the heart. Like, she just has that quality. And I think that after that movie, years later, she's been in some things where some people forgot. But I think this movie right now, she's that one that people are going to say, you need to like do something with that. Nominate her for something, whatever, because she was the best. Like, when it comes down to someone outside of Odysseus' circle, you know, even in his travels, anyone you remember her. Even more than what she did, you remember her, because when she turned everyone back and she was like, yeah, let them go. You and I need to talk. And then she starts talking to him, right? And starts telling him, what she said again? Justin, I remember you mentioned. She said something about like,
well, she was basically telling him like, hey, here's one thing you got to do to like get home. Here's a place you have to go. Basically saying like, yo, man, not everybody can come. You know, you can go, but they're kind of already dead. So
that's right. Yeah. But that scene when she sat down was crazy.
I think like legitimately, like when you're thinking about, there's so many people in this movie. I could see her getting nominated. Obviously, it would have to be for like best supporting actress or some shit. Because
I could see her nominated, right?
You'd have to consider Anne Hathaway the lead actress in this movie. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what, Samantha,
Penelope,
to me,
but Samantha, I think in the same way that they nominated Christian Bale for best supporting in The Fighter, because I can't remember who he would have been up against if he was best actor that year. I can't remember who he would have been up against, but they said like, hey, let's rock with best supporting. Pretty sure you're going to be able to get this. And then history's been made. He got it. You feel what I'm saying? But in this, as best supporting, it makes perfect sense, because again, you have Charlize Theron, which she was great as Calypso, right? You have Zendaya as what was Zendaya? She was like I can't remember.
She was I forget her name, but
she was great. But when if we're talking about Zendaya, if we're talking about Calypso, if we're talking about Cersei and all that sort of stuff, she that moment, she steals the show. She's freaking like phenomenal and like gives you everything in that moment. You know what I mean? And so like I feel like she would have to be the one to be nominated. So I'm gonna say it right here and right now, I think she's gonna get nominated for best supporting. That's what I'm saying it. I think she's gonna get nominated. Come back.
I think you're right, bro. I think you're right. You know what? I think she's gonna fall into the same situation that Viola Davis fell into. You know, that made her a star. That one little scene from what's the movie's name again? Oh shoot. No, before that. No, before that. It was about priests and sexually abusing the kids and everything. And it was a movie. That's what made her a star, is that one scene. She's been around for a while, but that one movie with that 7-minute scene of her and what was it again? Hold on.
Was it Spotlight?
I don't know. No, but she oh my God. It's I'm looking at her stuff, and then she got so many nominations, I forget. I'm trying to figure out. But the movie that she was in, guys out there, if anyone's listening, please help me out. What movie is that? It escapes me. But the movie that made Viola Davis a star was that movie I'm trying to get to. And from there, people was like, yo, who is that? Because she stuck out so well. You know, I think Samantha Morton is on her way to that. Oh, yeah. And everyone thought, because, so I always liked her as an actor and things that she's done. If I came across from her, I'm like, oh yeah, Minority Report. Yeah. But you're right. You know what? I'm with you, bro. All right. So Justin said he called it. So anyone out there, Justin called it. This year, Oscar nomination, best supporting, Samantha Morton for Odyssey. I think yes. You know who was like that too? Kate Blanchett for what was it? The Talented Mr. Ripley. When I first saw The Talented Mr. Ripley, I didn't know who Kate Blanchett was. But that little scene that she had, those little moments, and that was it. I was like, wow, who is she? She's really standing out. Next thing you know.
Kate Blanchett.
Blanchett.
I love me some Kate Blanchett. She's great.
That's my girl, boy. Yeah,
Yo,
don't fuck around, Kate.
What about Robert Pattinson?
Yo, all right. So, all right, let's get into some characters, right?
Let's get into the characters. Let me hear what your thoughts are on Robert Pattinson, my God.
Robert, okay, first of all, number one, I'm a little biased, but I'm a big Robert Pattinson fan. I think he just has it, man. Anything you need him to do, he could just form himself into it. He got the look, he got the gumption, he got the acting prowess, he got everything going for him. And when he was in this movie, he just turned on the slime, bro. I think he just put the bucket over him and he was just slimy. I mean, you know, the guy was like, he was that guy that you said, yo, I cannot leave him with anybody I know because it's not going to work out well. You know, I'm going to be killing that cat. So he played his role. Anne Hathaway's role, just to get her real quick. I know we still wasn't present, but I just want to kind of lean on her real quick. I liked her performance. I did. I've seen her in better performances, but I did like her performance in this one. It was cool. I still think Samantha Morton outshines her. That's me. I think she was pretty much like she was doing what she has to do. She was this woman with all this pain. She had those moments where I'm like, whoa, you know, I was like, my eyes got a little watery. You know, when she said she want her husband back. That hits me because I'm married. Just as married too. So, you know, there's little things in there that kind of hit those beats. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I feel that. You know what I mean?
Hey, yeah. So I love Anne Hathaway to death. I love her. I think she's great.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
When the funny thing is like, if you look at, this is for me, if you look at some actors, they're super dope. They can do just about anything, but a lot of actors still have their swag, right? So if you look at Anne Hathaway in Interstellar, you look at some of the scenes that she said, some of the things that she did with Christopher Nolan in Dark Knight Rises, right? And then you look at this, you can be like, yeah, I can see some of those mannerisms very similar. You know what I'm saying? She has her swag to it. But where I thought that she definitely like was able to elevate just because of the character she was playing and the situation that was going on was off of Robert Pattinson when he was trying to like, you know, woo her toward, you know, a certain portion of the film when he's like, look, Odysseus has been gone for this long. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take anything over. I'm just trying to be, you know, your right-hand dude. I want you to be able to do all these things and I want your son to be able to rock with it too. I just want to make sure that you have everything that you need. And like the way that she's like receiving that. And then in the end, when she thinks, oh shit, you know, maybe Odysseus really isn't coming back. All right, fuck this. Then here's what we're going to do. You know what I mean? And she does
right.
Which we're going to talk about that in a minute. The ending. I love the ending, right? So that, but then when she realizes this is my man, this is my boo thing, spent all this time. Damn, I've been holding it down all these years, right? The inflections of her face.
Yeah,
right?
I give you that.
You can see it in her eyes, the watering in her eye, like everything that her facial expressions and her body language showcased in that moment. Like, I felt like she just saw her man come back and did not think she was ever going to see her man come back. So
you're right.
She was great.
When did you think that she knew that was her man? Because there was a moment I thought that she knew. Maybe she had a good idea and she knew. I said, maybe she was right then. I wasn't sure.
I feel like she knew, or I feel like she felt like that was Odysseus or could have been Odysseus as she was like talking to him with the hood up. Right?
Right.
There's something probably in her heart and in her bones where she's like, I wish this was my man. I wish he would just take off that goddamn hood and show them who you are. You know what I'm saying? Right? But it wasn't until he was about to string that bow and he did the bong thing on the bow. I got chills just thinking about it right now. And when I was in the theater, I got a lump in my throat when he did that bong thing with the bow. Yeah, and she did too. And I think it was like at that moment. And again, let me go all the way back to the very beginning. When they showcase him doing that, that's like his thing. It's like his signature bong. And then they asked him some other time later in the movie, hey, why do you always do that? Why are you always giving the animals a heads up that, hey, I'm out here, I'm about to fucking kill you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
He's like, you know, it's not fair unless I do that. That's his swag, right? That's his principle.
Yeah. He wants to earn it.
Mm-hmm. So when he does that and it comes all the way back, full circle, as Chris Nolan movies tend to do, full circle, You know what I'm saying? His face is shrouded in shadows and whatnot. You know, in the hood, he's doing that. She set up the perfect little thing. Nobody in there can do it. It's like the fucking sword in the stone. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden he picks it up, strings that bow, boom, and there you go. And she's like, oh, pussy wet for days. You know what I'm saying? She's like, my man is back. You know what I'm saying?
She was like, bow, like, let's roll.
That's what she knew. That's what she knew.
Yeah, no doubt.
And he's like, he's over there thinking, I still got it.
But I love that whole concept about how they did the bow. My wife said too. She was like, I love that just the whole concept of the bow, and about what it meant, and you know what it meant to him and what it meant to everything. Like his personality, everything was in that bow, and the little thing too. What I loved about it was the way he what they call it, stringing the bow, I guess, or whatever, or bowing it, I guess, what would they call it? I forget the actual term, but the way he did it, I love how he contoured his body. Like to me, that's style. Like I like style, and that to me is like the way he contorted was when he feels it out first, and he pulls, and next thing you know, as he pulls it, he kind of goes down like this, like comes in, and he closes his eyes, feels it, like, bang. Like the whole moment was just perfection. I was like, that's the shit. Like that right there, you know, he thought about that. Like that was beautiful because it all, like you said, at the end, it all kind of, you can say, kind of builds up to this moment where you feel, because you see him contort himself, fill it out, and then you see him like put his head away. He doesn't look at it, he just feels it and puts his whole weight on it, and it just bang, and it comes up, you know. Bang. I mean, the whole thing was beautiful. Yes, it was. And so, yes, that thing at the end with him coming out. Yes, that was big. But you know what? To answer you, to what I was talking about, just to go back to when he was speaking to his wife, when she didn't know it was him because he had the cloak on, I thought that she knew it was him when he said, when he already explained, I was part of your husband's crew, like his army, when they went when they trashed, or they sacked Troy. I was there. She's like, okay, cool, all right, but he also gave me this little, I guess, a brooch of some sort that she gave to him before he left. He said, I got the brooch. I still got the brooch. It feels nice. I think right then, and she said, he would never give anyone that brooch. Like that would go with him. I don't think he ever would. You know what I mean? That's why I thought, because when you look at her, when he said that, she looked, and you saw her like start to tear. I understand because the brooch is a husband, but I think that's what she knew, because she started looking at him.
Yeah. And it's also, staring because, again, that was probably another thing that was like shaking her a little bit, because she also was like, I think she said something to the effect of like, did he wear it or whatever? And he's like, he never took it off. So he's talking about he's talking about himself in the past tense. He says he never took it off. Here it is now. So she's like, all right, I guess I'm going to pick one of these MFers, you know what I'm saying? We'll see.
Exactly.
But it was so good, dude. So good. I also loved how, so anyways, I kind of got off topic in a sense, but with Robert Pattinson, yes, the way he played this slimy dude, and the way that he was trying to get at her, the way he was disrespecting Tom Holland and all that sort of stuff, and just the way that he came, and the way Odysseus wasn't showing himself, as if he wasn't ready to be seen, as if he wasn't ready to take the stand, in a sense, right? When all is revealed, like, you need Robert Pattinson's character to be that way. You need him to be able to sell that, right? So then that way, when Odysseus finally shows himself, and then with Corey Hawkins was a dick too, and that's Robert Pattinson's right hand man. And after Corey
played that role. Corey was a dick. He played that role.
I'm so happy Dr. Dre was in this movie. But
that's what I thought.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought, right? Dre.
But I loved how, like, because you're like, I fucking hate these dudes, right? So I just love how he got that bow like right in the neck. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was like hella fly. But like, again, everything building up to that in this like climax in this one room. It's like freaking you're in the octagon with Odysseus. Let's see what happens.
You know what? Just to bring it up, Justin, too, when I think about it, that's how they did it? Like, that's just odd. Like, that's how they went down. Like, you know, if the queen has a king that's off to war and you haven't seen it for a while, and they say, okay, you're going to have to eventually wed in due time. Brothers just come in a room, like, just roll up
Well, I
and
think the
just
thing
sit
is, like,
there like for a while. It's just kind of, you know.
I think for most of our, at least most of the times when I've seen a movie where there's some ish where the king or the general or whoever it is goes off to
Yeah.
war, we never really see what's going on back at the crib spot.
I've
So,
never really seen that before.
like,
You know,
think
the
about
movies.
that for a second. Like, if the king and his merry men bounce to war, who's guarding the castle? There's gonna be there's gonna be dudes that come by talking about yo, let me holler. That's why they weren't able to do anything, because Tom Holland, Temecula, I think is his name, playing his son, he was there like, hey, get the fuck away from my mama. What you doing? You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And then when he left, and Robert Pattinson's character was like, this dude probably ain't gonna come back. He thought he could just run up in there, you know, get with Mia Goth, then get with Anne Hathaway and do the whole damn thing. And then when Temecula comes back, when Tom Holland comes back, he's like, oh shit, cock blocked. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's true.
So
but that scene you talk,
down.
but you know what? You're talking about a scene that caught me a little off guard too. And I was like, oh, okay, I could see he's flexing. Because think about it, you were saying, like everyone else, he was there talking to Anne Hathaway, right? It was a moment he slipped up in there. And he started to kind of like, listen, you know what? I'm the one for you. Don't worry about it. Your boy comes back. He's the king. I just want to be with you, girl. You could be the queen, whatever. You know what I mean? I just want to be with you. I'll take care of him, all that. Boy, it was hustling. Boy, it was sweet talking. But then I thought about it. I said, yo, hold up. Why are other guys able to just roll up to her and start talking to her face to face? But they did say because, you know, he was smashing the other chick that was like her right hand, I guess her servant and whatever, right? But then Anne Hathaway had to be like, yo, how you get up in this bitch? But I think he was flexing. He's like, see, I can get up all of me. You know what I mean? If I can get up with you and stuff, that means I'm supposed to be with you. You know, he was dropping bars as much as he could, you know, to her, you know what I mean? And she was kind of like, okay, but she was kind of like, you know what? All right, you got this far. Okay, whatever. All right. So real quick though, before I forget, okay, as much as we love Odyssey, right? It's not perfect, but it's going to be a top 10, top 15 movie of all time. Definitely. It's no doubt. One thing I do have to say about Odyssey is Mr. Tom Holland. And I think Mr. Tom Holland, as good as he is in other movies, especially with Spider-Man, the whole thing, we all already know what he does. This movie here, I think in a way, nothing bad. It just takes time. That it's kind of showcased that those heavyweights around him exposed him a little bit. Now, I don't know if it's more to do with the script, where they asked for him to do. He did have a moment where he put his chest out and he was like, okay, he's showing up. Okay. But realistically, when he started to kind of say, hey, listen, Ma, I'm going to take care of you. Ma, I'm the king. I got this. You know what I mean? And he rose up to like Patterson and those guys. I know they chump and whatnot. You know, it's like a captain from a football team that's mushing, you know, the water boy. That's what it looked like. I understand that was the whole point of it. You know, you get here, boy. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But at the same time, you want to kind of everyone there. You saw when they were in front of that screen, they took control. Like you were there. I don't know, man. What do you think? I know we asked about, of course, people like Patterson, those guys, even Crawford, all those guys. When they're on the screen, they take it. They eat it up a little bit. Tom came on the screen. It looked like he was just overpowered. Like, yeah, you just don't have the status just yet. You know what I mean? Like, it looked like he was like a little too big for him. You know what I mean? So what do you think? Do you think it was the character? Or you think it was pretty much him?
I'm gonna go with character. I think, from my opinion, I think Tom Holland is great, and I think that, oddly enough, kind of like a little bit opposite. Well, for sure, opposite of what you're saying is like, not only do I think that for the character and for what he was given to do, and how Chris probably obviously wanted him to play this character, I think he rode that line right in the middle of like, yeah, I'm a tough guy. I'm gonna say it with my chest, but I'm also over here. And it has a little bit of that arc kind of throughout the film, right? Also, at the same time, Tom Holland always had an amazing physique, but he's also always had a baby face. And in this movie, I feel like is the most grown that he's looked. He's still, you know, very boyish looking, if you will.
Yeah.
But still had a little bit more like gravitas to his features in this film. You see what I'm saying? And then also at the same time, correct me if I'm wrong, like his dad's been gone pretty much his entire life. Do you know what I'm saying?
He did. Right.
So like
right.
he don't really know. He's been training, you know, how to fight and all that sort of stuff, but he doesn't have like his dad there to make him like his own man fully and completely just yet. He's just been going around trying to find his dad, hearing stories and ish like this. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like the way that character was, the things that he had to do, I feel like he wasn't supposed to be toe to toe with who Robert Pattinson was, or who you know, Corey Hawkins' character was, or anybody else like that. I feel like he was supposed to be kind of like a layer below. You know what I'm saying? Because of his position.
Yeah, I think so. And you like he had the baby face, like you said. Yeah.
I also feel like that the same exact way about Elliot Page playing. Sinos,
yeah.
I think, or Sinan was her name, or his name in the movie.
Yeah, Sinon.
Because if I'm not mistaken, when they were kids, I think, isn't that Robert Pattinson's character's brother, I believe? Or they're either friends or brothers or something.
Yeah, the younger one. I think it was a younger one.
So when Robert Pattinson's character was supposed to go off to war, they traded because he wanted to stay back and probably get with mom or whatever the situation was, right? At that time, he didn't want to go off to war because he's a little bit of a coward, a little bit of a punk. So he gives a little stick or whatever like that to Elliot Page's character. And then, but if you look at Elliot Page, this person doesn't look like the same stature as all of these other soldiers. And again, I think that's the point. I think that's like the Steve Rogers aspect of it. Whereas this person has the heart to go to war and to do the right thing, but they're not necessarily made to go to war and yet do the right thing. However, this person was given, you know, in this day and age, what you would consider the honor of sacrificing themselves, without knowing it though, of course, in this way. But sacrificing themselves, because without Sinon's sacrifice and being there to say, hey, here's this gift, and then getting killed, the horse doesn't get into Troy.
That's true.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I feel, again, I make that point just to say that, like, I think that one of the great things about certain directors, and Chris Nolan being like that, and this movie showcasing that in my eyes, is that some actors might not necessarily be coached to be level or toe-to-toe with certain people in the film. And some actors might not even be toe-to-toe or certain level. I'm not going to say Tom Holland is on a Robert Pattinson level. I'm not going to say that. He's great. He's great, but I haven't seen enough from him to say that he's on Robert Pattinson's level. Like, and all of y'all out there, if you have not watched movies outside of Twilight and The Batman, which Robert Pattinson is dope in Batman, but if you haven't watched movies outside of Twilight and The Batman, you have not seen the full scope of what Robert Pattinson can do. You know what I'm saying? So Tom Holland is great. He's great, but you know what I'm saying? And I thought he was dope in this. But yeah, I think
it was cool. I think this is the most grown-up movie I think Tom Holland has been in. When you think about it, everything else 100%. He's been like, of course, the lead or whatever, or his little light or whatever it is. Even that little horror movie he had, like I think it was on Netflix about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, you know, and it, you know, it had like this kind of like serious edge to it, but it was still really meant for the younger demographic. This one, you had a lot of experience around him. You had a lot of grown-up shit going on. And I guess, like you said, I'm quite sure Christopher saw that and said, I need you to look like a doe. I need you to look like someone who can just be flicked and then pushed over, because your father wasn't there. You know, you've been learning to fight and stuff like that, but you know, you haven't really been in anything. Well, how many squabbles you really been in? You know what I mean? I mean, you're the prince. I mean, you know, they're not gonna let anyone touch you. So, you know, and then these guys we're warriors. So I guess you're right. I mean, I'm quite sure he said, listen, you need to look like a real punk. And you trying to put it in your chest, but you don't have what it takes. And he saw that too when he was trying to fight the guy that was actually breaking the floor and throwing all of the weapons down so everybody can like fight back Odysseus. I tell you, his name is killing me. Yeah. But when he was there trying to fight, and this guy was like hitting the floor and throwing the weapons down, you know, this turncoat. You know, he was all over the place. He was fumbling everywhere, you know.
And that's another thing that I want to bring up too, is I like it when a director will make choices for the actors or the characters that fit in the world and make sense in the universe, right? So
Yeah.
like we say, if we got like real warriors over here, or we got people that are just like shady and usually like, you know, bogart their way through the situation, like what Robert Pattinson's character was doing, Corey Hawkins, you know what I'm saying, kicking dogs when they down, things like this, despicable type people.
That was right.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
That was foul.
So when you have people like that, and you have someone who's never really you know, met their father in a true sense and has been like taught and molded and shaped truly into being a warrior, then you can't have that person. It doesn't really make sense. It kind of feels forced if that person all of a sudden is like going to start kicking ass and taking names. So you can't do
Right.
that.
I give that.
So
yeah, right.
this person has to look like they're struggling just a little bit. Like, it was funny to me, a little off topic, but it was funny to me when people saw the Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman, and they're like, duh, why is Batman not that smart? Motherfucker is year 2. He's still learning, goddammit. Like, did you ever read year 1? Are you fucking kidding me? He's not the Batman of old, motherfucker. Like, what the hell?
I know.
So,
I'm the same way. I'm about the same way.
It's like, so in certain situations, like, you know what I'm saying? When you have a character that's like brand new to the game, let him get their feet wet. Let him get beat up a little bit. Let him try to squabble, but then let him get defeated, right? But then let him stick their chest out and show that voice. In the end, when he was like, "That's enough," like, knock that shit off, y'all. And like, when he let him know what's up. You know what I mean? But still, his bravery was there. So yeah, so I thought that he was dope. I thought that everything that Tom Holland did in this movie was great. And I said in my review that I was like so happy that, one, I thought he came off great in the movie as far as like everything that Chris wanted him to do. Clearly, Chris is a great director, so he's going to make sure that he's getting awesome performances out of all of his people, right? That's evident. You see what I'm saying? But I'm happy that this movie is going to do amazing. I think this movie is going to do $1 billion. I think that. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why, but I think this movie is going to do great, and so I'm so happy that Tom Holland is able to have a part in this, because, like we said, all of his other movies outside of Marvel have been shit.
That's true.
Whether they're good or bad,
just to be quite honest,
whether they're good or bad, that's a subjective situation. But on an objective situation, those movies have either failed at the box office or nobody's watching them on streaming. So
he needs this. He needs this. Something outside of Marvel, absolutely. But I want to give a shout out first as we move forward to Rachel. Oh, no, actually, Rachel. What's that, Tamika? Yeah, well, Tamika's been following us on YouTube and everything else. She's been talking right now to us. And sorry, Tamika, because we're going back and forth and trying to kind of keep up with all of the people saying yes and talking to us. So I just want to give you a shout out. Thank you so much for supporting us. Keep at it. We appreciate you big time. You know what I mean? And yes, it was gross in some parts. And yes, and there's Justin mentioned too, it is the character. I just wanted to know because, sometimes you can see people in front of the screen and go, man, I don't know. I think something's getting exposed. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it makes sense because you see how his character is, like I said before, when he's trying to beat up the turncoat.
Also, speaking of when you're talking about like seeing like a certain character on the screen and, do you believe him or not or whatever like that? How good did Matt Damon look in this movie? Like when he's washed up on the beach, I was like, damn, this man is putting in work. And the reason I'm saying that is because I was just talking mad shit about Lobo like 2-3 weeks ago, and motherfuckers was blowing me up in the comments talking about, bro, you tripping, this, that, and that. No, I'm sorry. I love Jason Momoa, but fuck Jason Momoa and what he brought to the table for the character that he loves so much. Matt Damon has been quoted, he don't even like to work out. Matt Damon does not even like to work out. But when you get someone like a Christopher Nolan and everybody else that was willing to go to these far off exotic locations, Disney, are you paying attention? You could have gone to Hawaii to film Moana, but you chose to do it on the volume. Idiots. Anyway, but the point is, like, look at the work that he put in to make us believe this person who's been out on the high seas, who's been in battle, trapped in a freaking wooden horse for days on end, shitting and pissing on other people. And then when he takes off his cloak and he's fucking shredded, you believe it. Like, why wouldn't he be? It's not like this man's been eating Subway sandwiches. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So again,
you're right, because you saw, as I cut you off, but just to say this, when you saw his body, even afterwards, like later on, you see that he kind of lost weight. Because he wasn't really getting nourished. He's on high seas and whatnot. I mean, he's hardly eating anything. Yeah. But when he was fighting, he was ripped. he had mass, you know what I mean? He was like, yeah, I'm eating good. But when he started to go into those lands, you start seeing the difference. So yeah, you're right. He put in the work.
So again, when we talk about like, Tom Holland, maybe not feeling like he could go like toe to toe with Robert Pattinson, made perfect sense for the character. When you look at Matt Damon, how he looked, his swag, all that sort of stuff, perfect sense for his character, the time, the position that they're in. These are the choices, the creative choices that Christopher Nolan makes. The sound of the Cyclops when he's screaming, creative choices. Another creative choice, when they're on the boat and they have to go by the the mermaids or whatever it was like this, what I'm saying?
They're
doing the
that
sounds,
was crazy.
and they're like put the wax. The guys got to put the wax in their ears because obviously they're going to get drawn to it. Out of all the movies that have ever talked about, the sounds of the sea and they're calling to you and they're going to jump ship and stuff like that, I'll give Ryan Coogler credit for Black Panther 2, which I didn't even really care for that movie, and just that's a whole nother topic. But the way that the sirens were sounding from the mermaids and whatnot, and have people jumping off the ship, that was cool, a little cool element. But I did like that, yeah. But in this, I like how you didn't hear that shit, right? And only Odysseus, he's like, I need to hear that shit. Wrap me up to this freaking post right here, right, to this mast, and I want to hear that. And you can see him in pain and in anguish from everything that he can hear, but nobody else can. One dude, couldn't take it, and he heard it and jumped off the boat and shit. But
yeah, I understand. It's like he just couldn't take it. He's like, and he just jumped. I'm like,
what I'm saying? But that creative choice to not let us hear that, and again, the creative choice to not let us hear it because of the fact is like, in certain situations in films, you are not going to make everyone happy. Like in Oppenheimer, we're all waiting in Oppenheimer to see this explosion, right? If he had just shown a big ass explosion, you'd be like, all right, here today, gone tomorrow. We saw the explosion. So you can look that shit up on YouTube, right? But the way that it was filmed and all that sort of stuff. So same thing here. So the choices that are made from a character standpoint to certain elements in the movie, to certain creature effects and things like that in the movie, like, just fucking top notch. Just great.
Yeah, I think first of all, the creature effects that are in this movie, I know a lot of it was done practically. I know a lot of effects were done practically. He said that like I said, I didn't see the BTS on the Cyclops, how that was done practically and how he did it, but everything else you can see pretty much worked that way. Yeah, you're gonna have some CG here and there, but I think it's very minute. And if there is, I didn't see it. Like, let me tell you something. That's one credit I have to give to everyone on board with Odyssey. If there's any type of like any effect or a CG or whatever, everything looked pretty much grounded. Like you never seen anything and said, oh, you can just tell and you just kind of move on like you always see. This right here, this is one of those rare movies where everything you see, you believe. Everything that needs to be on screen looked like it was actually real. And a lot of it was, we know that. But, sometimes you have to kind of, throw some things in there. So that's what made you feel like, man, I really feel what these guys are going through. When they're on the sea and they're dusty and they smelly, they go on these islands and these things start popping up and they're trying to like survive. You feel it. You feel the tension, especially. All right, let's talk about this since we don't just spoil it because we just talk about all this shit. Yo, those cats with the silver armor, the giants, those to me, that was one of the creep. That to me was like scary. That to me was like, yo, there was no way out. It wasn't like you could just run in the water. It wasn't something that maybe Game of Thrones did, with the zombies. You couldn't go to the water. So you jump in the water, you good. You're on a boat, you're like, ha, gotcha. No, these cats is like, yo, we're going to go as far. You're running in the water. It's not like you have a speedboat. You know what I mean? You hit that bad boy on, you out. No, these cats had to bring up the oars, had to get it. All that time you're doing that shit, these motherfuckers are going, hiya. You know what I'm saying? They're on top of you, bro. And I'm like, yo, get away. People getting it from the back of one. You see other ships getting it from these guys. These guys are destroying ships. Bro, they were destroying ships with their hands. So I'm like, yeah, that to me was scary because and like, yo, the water don't mean shit and you can't get away fast enough. So the whole idea of these giants, and I don't know how accurate it is in Odyssey, guys. Please, like I said, Justin and I didn't read the book, but whatever they did to make these guys feel the way they felt was enough for me. That to me was like scary. You know what I mean? Because these guys did not talk. Even when you hit them, you didn't hear anything. You didn't hear no nothing. These guys made no noise. But they were huge and they were after you, so that was great. Now let's get into this part too, like with the Odyssey, like the runtime. Now, did it feel like 3 hours? Well, a little less than 3 hours to be technically right, but did it feel like 3 hours? Because let me tell you something. I think I throw this real quick in here because I'm always forgetting to say this about Christopher Nolan's movies. All of the YouTube pages that interviews that we had and reviews, and we talk about Nolan, this, that, and the other. There's one thing that people do not bring up about Nolan's like craft, and this is genius. Is that if you notice, I'm like, yo, he's just so good at this, man. I have not seen a director in my life anyway, has done this. And what I'm talking about is pace. He can make, think about Oppenheimer. That's the clearest example. That's a 3 hour and change movie about science and one bomb going off at one time within 3 hours. Everything is a trial. Everything is about his life. Everything is about science itself and what makes a bomb and all that. And then the political part of it for Oppenheimer at that time. That's it. All right. No one's running. No one's getting shot. No one's jumping off the mountain. It's just cats in a room talking. But what he does is brilliant is the pace. He never lets you, he never gives you a chance to get up. Like if you have to go to the bathroom, you're gonna miss out on some shit. Like he said, that's a you problem. You know what I mean? There's no part in here. And then when you think about a movie, right? People say it's a 3-act play and all that stuff, which is really old school right now, where people still say that's like whatever. But when you think about his movies, there's not really 1, 2, third act. In a way there is, but then a lot of times it's kind of like a one. You start with the second act first, then you go to the third act, and then you go back to a first act. But the pace of it, he keeps that going by number one, quick cuts and a continuous music. It's almost like a music video. Mm-hmm. Look at his film; they almost feel like a music video. They never stop. You have what's my man's name? The composer. Love that guy.
Ludwig Göransson?
Ludwig, right? So you got Ludwig working hard. When he knows he on the Christopher Nolan's film, he gonna be working. He gonna be making some music. He said, motherfucker, I need you to make 3 hours worth of continuous music because this is never going to stop. And when you look at Odyssey, it's the same way. And once it starts, music's on. And then next thing you know, things are moving. Cut. This is happening. He's explaining everything to you. If you miss something, I'll get you back. I'll play some more stuff. But the pace of the movie with constant music, with scenes that pretty much always gets that downtime moment for the audience. It always gives you a moment where someone's at a bar or someone's talking to their mom, and you know, okay, this is a little down moment. That's cool. I like it. But if I have to go to the bathroom or I have to kind of turn to the kid to say something, this would be the point. This would be the time. With Nolan's movie, there's never a downtime. So I'm just saying, as a skillful filmmaker, and as an independent filmmaker myself and all the millions of filmmakers out there, we make our films, look at that craftsmanship. He knows, he said, listen, you're never going to want to get out of my film. No matter what it is, I'm going to keep it going. So anyway, it's beautiful what he does.
Yeah, I would say, to kind of piggyback off of that, I was just thinking like in a lot of filmmakers where they have like long movies and shit, you can look at Tarantino, you can look at Scorsese, Christopher Nolan. They probably got the longest fucking movies out there right now, right?
right.
I feel like Tarantino, at least in his earlier day, he wasn't maybe so full of his own dialogue. Whereas like some of his most recent movies, which I like his movies for sure. I'm a big Tarantino fan.
Yeah.
But sometimes a lot of his dialogue is self-indulgent and he's just saying the same thing over and over or just trying to figure out the most creative way to say the same thing a bunch of different ways. Or his way of making a character interesting is by having them say some weird philosophical such and such, where you could have just said, hey, yo, the butter's over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas with Nolan, all of the moments of dialogue build up to the moments of action so that the moments of action actually hold weight and make you care about everything involved in that action. If it's the vehicle, oh shit, we got to watch out for the vehicle, make sure it works well. If it's the character, oh shit, how's the character going to get out of this because we know they're dealing with such and such or whatever. If it's a ticking clock, you know what I'm saying? There's always things that he's building throughout in his stories that feed and fuel this other through line coming through that story. And again, if his movies are taking a long time, it's because all those things are needed again to get to this. And so when it comes to fruition, it's just that much better for it. So I love a long movie. I love to be in a universe
Me too.
that I really enjoy with characters that I'm really like engaged in. And so I don't care if this movie was 4 hours, I will be sitting there like holding my shit like, oh my God, man.
Like this, like, I can't go. I can't go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know, but like you're saying too, when it comes to Tarantino, a lot of guys, even Scorsese, a lot of directors who make these long films, right? With Nolan, to give him more props, to me, when it comes to dialogue, you said sometimes Tarantino can just get long-winded, and I get it. That's his thing, whatever. It's cool. I still like his stuff. But I think Nolan, him with his scientific mind, and him just the way his rhythm is, every piece of dialogue is there for a reason. He's very efficient. There's no wasted dialogue. That's what I love about his movies. There's never dialogue that's wasted, that is thrown. Everything means something. And then when you look at everything he's done, like the way it's edited, right? It's very fast. It's kind of like this person saying something, this person saying something. Then you show this, then this person saying something. And then you go to an external, maybe like a landscaping shot or whatever. And you keep on stepping. Like he just keeps it going. Like there's nothing here that I put in that you don't need for the story. Unlike other filmmakers, there are things that they kind of throw in there. And if you don't catch it, it's okay. You can still enjoy the movie. Nah, yo. Nolan is like, if you miss that, you miss something. Like I don't put shit in just to put in shit in. You know what I mean? So if it has nothing to do with the story, then I'm not going to put it into it. And I think that's the difference between him. Even Spielberg does that. Even James Cameron does that. He's the only one that doesn't do that. He would just, everything means something anyway. Yeah, he's very efficient, straight to the point. And yes, we love Nolan. You guys out there love Nolan. You got to figure guys like Nolan come like very rare, man. And we have directors out there, been around for years who are very, very rare to have their own style. And Nolan's one of those guys, man. This is why we're going crazy for Odyssey. This is why we have this spoiler review right now, because we just can't contain ourselves and say, oh, well, you know what? No spoilers. Bro, it's too much going on. Let's talk.
Yeah. Now, let me address this, because I want to ask in a minute or so. I'm going to try to figure out, like, I want to touch on some of the things that people are saying they had an issue with. Right?
Oh, okay, let's get into that. Let's get into that. Yeah.
About all the great things. But before I get to that, I want to highlight the Lupita Nyong'o situation and John Leguizamo. First, I'm going to go on John Leguizamo, right? So, I said in my review, the first time I can remember seeing John Leguizamo was in the movie The Pest, right? And then there was like, after The Pest, when she was like just bonkers crazy in that movie, then it was like Spawn, where he played the clown. And every now and then you'll catch him in some serious role, but I'm again so happy that Nolan picked him of all people to play this blind dude in this movie that is kind of like a mentor / like right hand individual / gatekeeper in a sense to Odysseus' son and even Odysseus at a time. You know what I'm saying? And so, and being able to be there like throughout the entire film, I thought John Leguizamo killed it. And again, having not read the book, having not all the understanding of, Greek culture and this and that, if people are so upset about Lupita Nyong'o playing Helen of Troy, John Leguizamo's Hispanic.
Emmaus. Right? Yeah. He's Puerto Rican.
What I'm saying?
Puerto Ricano, baby. Yeah, New Yorker.
So
me. Yeah.
Was there Puerto Ricans in too? Like, I didn't hear a lot of people giving him as much shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And what about Corey Hawkins? Like, was black people like just chilling like that in the kingdom? Regardless, the point is, I don't know. But the point is, there's a lot of people in this movie where you could look at them and be like, were they necessarily historically accurate? The fact that Lupita Nyong'o was getting as much ish, you should just be able to trust in this filmmaker's creative inspiration. You know what I'm saying? If he feels like she's going to fit this role.
There were brothers in Greek time back then. So if people don't know the history, yes, there were black people from Africa coming in Greek for trade and things like that. There's other things too. I don't know all of the history, but I know that. So yeah. So if you want to get all crazy out there, like Justin's saying about Lupita Nyong'o and John Leguizamo and all that things, understand it's a big world out there. A lot of things happened at that time. And those who wrote the story just wrote it in their eyes, not really telling you actually how things were back then. So, there's a lot of things going on in between. But anyway, I'm sorry. Continue, Justin. I just wanted to throw that in there.
So basically, the whole point is, one, Chris Nolan might be taking some creative liberties as far as legitimate race and whatnot, but we're going to the movie to be entertained. We're going to the movie to see something outside of our own world and our own realm. Is it really that big of an effing deal? Lupita Nyong'o's character is not even in the movie, but for what, like 3 or 4 minutes? 5 minutes, maybe? Out of a 2 hour and 50, out of a 2 hour and 52-minute film. She's in it for maybe like 5 minutes. That's like when you go to the dentist and they got to numb you up real quick. Compared to the whole time you're sitting there in the chair and they're doing everything, that needle's in your gum for like 10 seconds. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Pennies in the pond. Stop tripping. But she did great in her role. She did great in her role. But for the people out there that's crying about it, y'all need to get a life and stop tripping on that shit.
Yeah. You know what? I'm there with Justin.
John Leguizamo were great in what they had to do, but John Leguizamo was a standout for certain. So I just want to give him love, give him some shine for sure.
I love John Leguizamo. I always did, so now, definitely. But before you move forward, Justin, sorry to cut you off, but I want to just say one thing about Lupita. There was some things out there's some people out there. I don't care a fuck who you are out there, right? Hear this shit and put your ears right to the fucking speaker. Those people out there who said, "Hey, Lupita is playing someone who's supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the story." What are you saying? She's not beautiful? Like all you motherfuckers out there, that's your excuse. Oh, was she supposed to be the most beautiful? What are you saying? She's not beautiful because she's what? Black? She's not beautiful because she's not white? So whatever it is out there, fuck y'all, because beauty comes in all colors, shades, sizes, and creeds. So if you can't see that and you can't see how beautiful Lupita is, even if she's playing somebody who's supposed to be another race, but you need someone beautiful, she is beautiful as well. So I just want to say that if you say that, we know who you are, we know where you stand, and just say we see you. But I'm just saying. Go ahead, Justin.
The last thing I'll say to piggyback off of that real quick before we move on is, at the end of the day, beauty is subjective. It's in the eye of the beholder, right?
Right.
But the funny thing is a lot of times when people, they'll say, oh, maybe someone's not beautiful enough to play this role. Like the same thing they were saying about Millie Alcott that was playing Supergirl. A lot of people her shit for the way her teeth looked or whatever like that. My teeth used to be busted as fuck. So I paid like $10,000 for my grill to get fixed. Point is, it's all in the eye of the beholder. But as soon as you start entering the race card, now your argument for her beauty, subjective or not, now holds no water because you just entered the race card. So now that's what your real issue was. So remember, if you want to hide behind, oh, she's not pretty enough, well, then you can't say the race part. You just got to hide behind, well, I don't think she's pretty enough. Okay, cool. Then we have nothing to say to you other than that's your opinion, right?
Yeah, right.
But if you bring up the race, then I can say fuck you. Now, moving on. So a lot of people crying about the sound. They'd be like, "Oh, I can't hear; it's muffled." Again, I'm cool with that. Some people out there comment in the section, do you have an issue with the sound? Like I say, you can look at Tenet. A lot of people were crying about Tenet. Oh, I couldn't hear what they're saying on the boat. Look, you don't know even if you heard I've watched that movie 1,000 times. I still don't know what's going on. I still don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care. I love that movie. Right?
Me too.
My wife and I flew to San Diego during the pandemic to see that movie because it wasn't showing anywhere around us in San Jose. And I left the theater knowing I loved what I just watched, but I'm like, I wish I knew what the fuck was happening. Goddamn.
I'm the same way. You know what?
But I can promise you this.
That's one of my favorite films.
But I can promise you it had nothing to do with a couple of scenes where their voices were muffled. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the same thing in this. People also crying about like, this movie's too dark. I can't see anything. I don't hear y'all crying about The Batman. I don't hear y'all crying about The Dark Knight. Like, I don't hear y'all crying about half of the horror movies that have been made from the 80s through the early 2000s. Like, movies are dark from time to time. And quite frankly, again, the verisimilitude of it. If you are in the middle of have you ever been camping before? Did you ever turn off your flashlight? Could you see what the fuck is going on in the woods? You couldn't. You can't. So Chris Nolan is going to let you see what he wants you to see.
Right.
Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the escapism. Right? So for me, I didn't think the movie was too dark. I didn't have an issue with the sound design at all. That's just me. Nope. It's a creative choice. You dig what I'm saying? So, number one, if you go to a certain relative's house all the time for Christmas or Thanksgiving and you feel like they cook like shit, eventually you're going to have to learn you should probably eat before you go. You go say, hey, what's up, grandma? Hey, how you doing, auntie and uncle? Hang out, whatever. But don't expect the food to be delicious. If you go to a Christopher Nolan film and I'm probably going to get a couple of dark scenes, probably going to get a couple of muffled voices, but hopefully I'm able to follow along throughout this 3-hour movie enough to enjoy it. Don't walk out of the movie and be like, it was too dark in parts. The sound wasn't really that good in parts. Let the shit go. I'm sorry.
I know. You know what? Like you said too, and people still come to see it. You already seen
you
like
already
4 or
paid the
5
money,
of his
man.
films.
Let it go.
You already know what's happening, and you're gonna still bitch about it. You've been bitching about it since Batman's hell. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did in Memento. I saw Memento. I heard everything just fine. If he changed his ways, who knows? Who cares? It's the fact that did it help? Did it hurt you? Enjoy the film? Number one. Did it hurt you? Enjoy the film? Number two. Did it hurt you? Understand the film?
I submit,
like
no.
just insane. Like no, it's like, so if it doesn't affect you, then stop crying. So yes, Justin, I'm there with you, bro.
Also, and the funny thing is, a lot of that is to use Chris Nolan, is the inceptioning from other people. Like if you read a comment or if you read a review and it said, oh, the sound was this and that. Well, now you're going into the movie looking for that moment, and you're like, I did notice that. No, the fuck you didn't. Stop it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And you know what? I think that too. If you can, especially if you want to see something, this may be off the beaten path. I just have to throw this in there. Just don't stop looking at stuff. Like if you're going to look at a movie, you're ready to see a movie and you're really excited about it, just stop looking at stuff. Like don't go online too much. Just stop. Because you're going to come in there with preconceived notions. You're going to come in there with like these ghosts and these murmurs that you heard a couple of days before, and they're all going to seep in. And when you look at it, you're not going to enjoy the film. The best thing about any film is to go in there as blind as you possibly can. We understand it's hard nowadays because you turn on your phone and once you turn it on, someone's like, yeah, in your face, it's hard for you to move away. But if you can, it's tough.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Motherfuckers be tripping out there. It's not that hard. I watch a lot. I watch at least like 4 consistent review people, right? That I've been following from like mid 2000s, like 2011 to now. I watch them all the time. They review same movies I review, but I don't watch their reviews before I review a movie. I don't talk to other people about certain things because I want my own thoughts to come through. I view these people as high. I put them on a high pedestal because I've been watching them for so long. I want to be as good as them or as successful as them in this review space. So when I watch their videos after mine and they say some similar shit, maybe just a little bit different because we're different people, I'm like, oh, cool. Like we say the same thing. Cool, that's whatever. But in the end of the day, I'm not going to read a review. I'm not going to watch a review. I try to stay away from trailers as best I can. The only trailers I purposely watch, I don't purposely watch them, but they're in the movie theater when I go to watch a movie. That is it. As much as I want to watch certain other trailers or behind the scenes stuff or special little, featurettes or whatever like that, because we have a ton of those things going on right now. I do my best to stay away from it because I've been watching movies since I was a little boy, man. I'm 42 years old right now. I can tell you what's going to happen in the movie before enough of what's going to happen in the movie based on
so many times.
Trailer. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care if I know what's going to happen or not. It's not the point. The point is I just want to sit in the theater and allow this creator to give me what they want to give me. I don't want to know what someone else's think piece was or whatever. If you're the type of person that does that, my wife does that shit. She'll watch reviews before she goes to see a movie.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, babe, why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell?
Kill yourself.
You know what I mean? People will do that. And I'm like, nah. Just go and watch the movie, and then afterwards, let's discuss. Let's chop it up.
Yeah, that's the best thing. You're right. I'm the same way too. Because even the people that I do, like you said, I have my same people, and a lot of you and I actually see, look at the same people for reviews. A lot of people out there know that the famous names, and we watch those guys too. But when I see them review a movie I haven't seen yet, I don't even look at it. You're right. You could just say no. I just say no. It's afterwards. Even if I know a movie I want to see, and Justin is seeing it, he's reviewing. I'm like, nah. If I'm not going to see it, I don't wait nothing. I'll wait till I see it and then come back and say, "What did Justin say?"
The most I'll do is this, because I know some people out there be like, "Oh, this, that, whatever." Look, the most I'll do is like either I'll try to gauge maybe by the people I follow. I'll gauge by their thumbnail. Is it good? Did they like it? I don't know.
Right. Their face expressions, like.
Or at least in my reviews, I try to say early on if I thought the movie was trash or not, or if it was hella good or whatever. later on, first of all, if you're watching my reviews, if the movie is great and I think it's good, I'm not going to spoil it. So you don't got to be fearful to watch my reviews. If it's trash, I'm going to spoil the fuck out that motherfucker because I got to give you examples as to why I thought it was trash. But the point is, I will more than likely say up top, you know what I'm saying? So I might watch someone's review just to see up top, oh, it was good? Okay, cool. Now I'm going to turn that shit off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to go in there and enjoy the movie. But yeah, at the end of the day, if people are talking about, oh, the lighting looks like this or the sound is like that, you're still going to formulate your own mind on what was the movie overall. What was the experience like overall? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, just the movie itself. Just enjoy the movie itself. And yes, every movie's not perfect. That's just the whole point of it because humans make it. We make these things. But all in all, you're going to like it or you're not going to like it.
Now,
and I do want to... Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, now let me ask you this, because for me, I do think this movie was damn near perfect. You know what I'm saying? I can't really point to anything upon just one viewing. I can't point to anything where I'm like, could do without this, could do without that, whatever. I thought it was great. For you, what do you feel is some maybe downgrades about the film? What do you feel that was like, yeah, you know, maybe this could have been done a little bit different or whatever? Like
there's one particular thing that I felt that could have been better because I'm comparing it to a film that is just an epic, one of the top films of all time. It's the landscaping imagery. Like how much he's shown. There was moments it was beautiful. Like he caught like that beach shot was fucking phenomenal. But I heard about that too. Like, oh, it's beautiful. You know, he was in the mountains. They did all this. They did all that. I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings. You want to see something where you feel those guys went through some shit and you want to see some beautiful landscapes. That's a movie that can easily dwarf this one when it comes to that. I mean, you had helicopters looking at mountains from miles away. You had the actors on the edge of the mountains for like at least 30 seconds running where you saw this beautiful landscape of mountains. I mean, there was plenty of those. So when you think about a movie, when they say, oh, this movie has the best landscaping scene, or you can see all of the work that's into it. Yes, you can see the work into it, but I can still bring other movies where I can say, I can see more of the heartache and the scrapes and the bruises from the actors than these guys. Lord of the Rings to me was the biggest one because I followed it for so long. And when you look at the movie again, you can see like there's, you know, so I don't want to go into the Lord of the Rings thing because it's not about Lord of the Rings, but that's the only thing. Otherwise, I think it's fine. But the scope of things, like the scope when it comes down to like the set design, or the scope when he's out and about, like either on the beach or the field or whatever, the scope of it to me could have been a little bit better. I mean, even Tarantino's Hateful Eight had better landscaping than that, you know. So there's certain things you could, you know, I could cherry pick if you want, but that's just so. But that's pretty much it. Because I think this is a movie that even if you say, well, you know what, I didn't like this or whatever, this is a movie that's going to grow on you and grow on you like moss. It's just going to cover you up and you're going to love it. You're going to just sit in it. And when it's on, you say, I have to watch this in the best possible format. And speaking of format, hey, Justin, we didn't bring this up. We brought in the beginning of this before we close out, is that being that this was shot on IMAX, 70mm film, right? And the print itself, I think it's 24 prints, I believe, that he said he has that's throughout the United States, if not the world. But no, there's 24 prints, 24. That is the actual print where you can view it in a true IMAX place with that print to see exactly how Christopher Nolan was looking at the movie when he was editing, how he looked at the movie when he was filming. Like that's how it looked to him, you know? So there's a place here in Vegas, only one place where we're having the Gamescom Film Festival this December 4th and 5th at the Brendan Theater. Okay, the Brendan Theater actually is one of those theaters. They're one of the 24 that actually has a true IMAX theater, and they're showing the movie in the true 70mm print. So I was trying to get in there, and obviously I could not get in. Literally, let me take this out before we move on. I went ahead and said, you know what? I saw this in like Justin, what you say is called not IMAX, but LIMAX, right? Right. So I saw it kind of in the LIMAX one, you know. It was in a Regal Theater. It's real nice. It says IMAX. I'm quite sure it is, you know, but it's not, you know, true IMAX, but it's as much as you're going to get. I forgot what my train of thought was about the IMAX deal. But either way, if you can see the IMAX, then do see. Oh, that's right. I wanted to try to see it, Justin. So I was like, you know what? I want to see it again. It's very rare. Like Sinners was one I want to see again. It's very rare that I want to see a movie again in the theaters, right? So I said, I want to see it again. I want to see it in 70mm this time. I really want to see it in true IMAX. Yo, bro, I cannot get into that theater for like 2 weeks. Literally,
I heard a lot of the IMAX theaters were like booked out for like at least like 2 or 3 weeks. I mean,
it's crazy, bro.
They started selling tickets to this movie a year ago, like literally a year ago.
Yeah, right.
And those original 70mm IMAX theaters gone,
done. And I'm like, yo, they have 8:00 in the morning shows. There's one of my guys I listen to, one of the comedians, Tony Baker. But Tony Baker, if you're there, yo, good work, bro. I'll follow you for years. But he said he went 7:30 in the morning, barely up, and it was like, sold out. Like, yo, it's like
you know what I would love to do? You know what I'd love to do? Find a theater that's like show, because I heard there was like through the night showings at some places. Like remember back when Infinity War and Endgame were coming out, they're doing like midnight showings and shit. I would love to see a midnight showing or some early like random ass time in the morning, like 5 in the morning or I don't know what. Right? Tired as fuck. Watch the movie, be up. You know what I'm saying? All that.
right.
And then after the movie, go to a restaurant, get some breakfast, go home and pass the fuck out. My son wouldn't let me though. He'd keep my ass up. Right?
He's like, yo, let's talk about. He'd be like, yo, Pop, let's talk about the movie. Get your ass up. That'd
be a perfect morning for me. I love that shit.
Yo, hey, you know what? You're right. I mean, I haven't done that.
Yeah. Do you think? So here's the real question, y'all. Here's the real question, people. We are not even in the height of Oscar season, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're still in summertime.
Right.
We're still fucking in summertime, and we just got this. You got Dune 3 coming up. Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve, arguably the best directors doing it today. Arguably the best directors consistently doing it today. Dune is going to go down as one of the best trilogies ever. It's going to rival the original Star Wars trilogy. Look, if we're going, like, Star Wars is special.
Oh, okay.
Star Wars is special. But if we're going like film for film, plot for plot, craft for craft, I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry, George. But I feel like Dune's gonna take this shit for real. So the question is, both of these movies are getting nominated for Best Picture. I don't think there's a world where that does not happen. Both Odyssey and Dune 3 are getting nominated for Best Picture. I can't speak on everything else. Maybe Sheep Detective. I heard that movie is really good. Okay, but do we think if it comes down to Denis and Chris, like realistically, we haven't seen Dune yet, but just off what we know,
easy.
What do we think?
Easy. Odyssey out the park. Easy.
You think so?
Because you know why? Yeah, because there's already 2 Dunes, so it's not a big deal anymore. You're just trying to wrap it up. It's a big movie.
Here's what I'm gonna push back on. I can't remember exactly what Denis said, but he said like the first Dune movie was like, I don't know, he's trying to make it happen. Whatever, I don't know. Whatever he said that way. The second one was for like film purists, like cinephiles. And then I think he said that this third one is like his blockbuster. It's like for the fans. Like,
it's gonna be a lot of action.
If you've seen the trailers, it's gonna be crazy action, dope ass action. You know what I'm saying? Pew pew pew, lasers and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's what kills us every time.
And then also you got Paul Atreides as like a heel turn. Like he's gonna be a bad guy in this fucking movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's some real shit going on. It's gonna get real.
Right.
Now the other thing is Christopher Nolan just won for Oppenheimer. You feel what I'm saying? So does the Academy look at and say, all right, Chris Nolan just won Best Director, Best Picture, Oppenheimer, let's go. Cillian Murphy, Best Actor, let's go. And then you got Timothée Chalamet, arguably, he's up next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just saw that in the last Oscars. And then now you got Denis, who Denis has given us nothing but greatness with everything that Denis has not made a bad film. Understand that. Yeah. So does the Academy say, Chris Chris got his thing.
I gotta think about this. All right.
The only way I see them overlooking Denny, who hasn't got his just due yet, and Chris did. The only way I see them overlooking is once again the same reason that Brian, like, Sinners got as much love as it did, as many nominations as it did, and the same reason that Michael B. Jordan got Best Actor. One, Michael B. Jordan Best Actor because of the complexities of it. So for Chris Nolan, filming everything in IMAX, I mean, they cutting this bitch with scissors and tape, MacGyver swag.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, yo.
So they doing it classic old school. Hollywood loves old school, okay?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
IMAX is selling T-shirts and sweatshirts because of Christopher Nolan.
Exactly.
So the campaign is going to be heavy. That's the only reason it's going to be heavy. That's the only reason.
I you know what? It's funny. It's a really great question, but it's a really great question, Justin. And that's really tough because people may say, like I said at first, right? I say, I think it's going to be Odyssey easy. But then you brought some good points. Now it made me think. I'm like, Because, I can see him do this. Did he get anything for the other two? They're like, nah. But it made $1 billion. It's already classic. We didn't really give him anything. He's gonna tie this up with the bow really nicely in the third one. And we know that Nolan's still going to give us he's still going to give us some beautiful stuff in the future. We still got stuff coming. So it's not like, this is it. Right. Although I heard Nolan say he's going to take 3 years off. So I don't blame him. After this one. And then I say them just give it to him because of the 3. Yes. I think that being that one big thing that can actually knock Dune out the way you just brought up is, I guess we did was anybody buying tickets a year before time? Like they'll look at the muscle. No one's buying Dune tickets a year before time, but they were doing Odyssey. And like you said, also keeping the prestigeness of cinema. Like Nolan's doing that. Nolan said, I'm keeping that shit alive, peeps. He's making some good shit.
Him and Denny are on the same page for sure.
Yeah, keep it exactly. But I think that even though Denny maybe has done it as well, like film, I'm not sure, but they're making a big push, like you said, like for Nolan, he makes yo, we're using celluloid, bro. And we're using 70. And then we're not using 70. We're using Super 35 or we're doing that. We're using celluloid. So I'm still cinema. And I'm going to show you what cannot be replaced. Hollywood loves that. Like, yo, you're the one that's pushing that shit a lot. Denny isn't. Yes, Denny is great, but I think that's not his campaign. And he doesn't. And if he did, it'd be stupid because they said, you can't do the same thing Nolan is. Even if he wanted to, he can't. Mm-hmm. It just won't look right. It's like, we try to do what Nolan's doing.
The other thing when you mentioned muscle, the other thing is, and again, I've only seen one. I've only seen Odyssey, which I thought was dope. I want to watch it again. I want to live in that world. It's all good. But I can tell you this. Something tells me that the rewatchability for the general population that will go back again and again and again.
I think it's Odyssey, man.
For Dune,
it's hard. I don't know. I don't know.
Action, the pull that fucking Timothée Chalamet has and Zendaya has and Jason Momoa has, like the pull that all these people have that want to see them, and then the action and how.
That's right. And that's right. And Robert Patrick's in there too.
Oh, Robert Pattinson's in it too. This man's in everything.
Robert Pattinson's
you know what I'm saying? Robert Pattinson is the new fucking. There was a guy who was just like in every fucking thing for a second. I can't.
Oh, you could say he has a Samuel Jackson year. Him and Momoa, because Momoa has like 3 films now or something like that this year, something like that.
I don't know. All I know is, I've been hearing some pretty. I mean, the funny thing is, in this year, I was telling someone this the other day. We have Odyssey that just got here. You got Dune 3 conclusion coming up.
Yep.
And you got Doomsday. In one fucking calendar year.
That's tough because Odyssey, I think Dune,
and Doomsday. If Doomsday hits,
nominated already.
It should.
Oh, yo, that's gonna be already nominated. I
cannot wait until they're carrying these bitches at Walmart. Because I'm streaming on 4K. It's not even a question. It's not even a question.
Yeah, I'm buying. Yes, I hope they have a box set because I'm buying that bitch up right away. All of them.
We're eating good right now. We're eating good. If you're a film fan, with all the horror movies that we've been getting, with all the good horror that we've been getting from last year to this year, Project Hail Mary earlier this year. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I forgot
Project
about that.
Hail Mary earlier this year, and then
that's getting nominated.
And then this movie this Odyssey, and then Dune, and then a couple of other movies coming out this year too. Man, we are eating good right now.
I know. Yeah, we are. We are. You know, and there's a lot of like these indie films, these lower films coming out are just kind of like kicking ass. And I think they are going to give them some. I think the Oscar is going to bring them in. I can see. Was it Backroom? And of course, Obsession. Like I can see them just kind of throwing a bone out there just to kind of say, hey, listen, this is where the world's going. People are loving this. We can't ignore it. I mean, we can't ignore it. So let's just throw them, even if they don't win nothing, but let's just throw them in there, you know, because they're just that good. But when it comes out to the three heavyweights, yeah, it's going to be, like you said, Odyssey, Dune, and Avengers. Avengers. Let me tell you this. Hold on, real quick. I got a question for you before you get into that. You know, Avengers and Dune's come out at the same time, right?
Oh, I know that.
Right. And you know, Dune has all the IMAX theaters. They bought it up. So Avengers can't get into it. And they were trying to. I don't know how Avengers dropped the ball in that one. Kevin Feige, what you doing? I don't know what happened. But anyway, Dune got it. Do you think first weekend, because they come out at the same time, right? You know, there's memes about people having two theaters by each other and one going in and the other person goes right into Dune. Like they're just going right, they're just going right into it, right? So who do you think is going to be bigger that weekend?
I don't see a world where Avengers does not beat out Dune's box office.
I agree.
Come on, it's not even a question. Avengers clearly
the first weekend.
First weekend sweeping. What's going to be interesting is just to see how they go. I don't see Dune outgrossing Avengers in general. I just don't see it.
No,
and I'm gonna tell you why. While there's a lot of people that love Dune, Avengers, we're not just talking about a family that will go see Avengers. Mom, dad, kids, friends in the neighborhood. The whole family is going to see Avengers. But we're also talking about grown people without families. I don't know why I pointed at myself. But grown people.
That's me. I'll do that.
Right?
Grown people like myself.
Grown people without families that love the comics and grew up on the cartoons and all that sort of stuff, or have been watching these movies as of late. They gonna go see it. And if you ain't even got kids, well, there was a time in a little bit of my youth long ago when I didn't have kids, I went and saw Fast and the Furious 6 like 5 times in the theater because I didn't have nobody. I didn't have nobody tell me no. Do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? So if you got someone like, you know, sitting around like, you know, 20 to 30, whatever, and they don't got kids, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They're gonna go back and see that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But are they necessarily gonna do that with Dune? I don't know.
Yeah, the Dune rewatchability, yes, because first of all, when it comes down to Avengers, I still think, I mean, first of all, Avengers has more fans than Dune. I mean, it's obvious on that, right?
It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is. But I think that like the first weekend, yes, I agree. I think that Avengers is going to blow it out the water. But then, of course, whatever's going to happen afterwards, you know, depending on how good it is and all that, of course, that depends on next weekend. But the first weekend, the opening day, I think most people not only are going to go in because they're fans, because you and I are going to be the nerds in there anyway, but we're also going in there to see, are they really turning the tide? Are they going back to what made them big in the first place, what made them beautiful in the first place? Like that's their whole hook. Like that's their whole thing. You know, bringing back the brothers, you know, the Russo brothers, bringing them back. Of course, bringing Robert Downey back, bringing all these legacy guys back. So you can bring all of the people who said, oh, I remember those guys. Let's see if they could do it one more time, right? So you have that flood coming in because eventually they're all going to go anyway, and the new one's going to come in, the X-Men, the new Avengers, and all that stuff. So I think a lot of his curiosity is like, because I know I'm that guy. Like, I'm going to see it anyway. They already got me. They don't need to like sell. But I know, and I'm quite sure you could agree on this, I'm curious to see what they're going to do. Like that's their whole thing. What do you think?
I'm gonna tell you this. I think this movie is gonna be great. Avengers. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna do just fine. It's gonna do great. Huge numbers for sure. A lot of people would try to say that Disney's been on an uptick because of Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine, whatever you want to call it.
Yes,
and all
they
that
have
stuff.
been. Yes.
That's Ryan Reynolds. That's Fox. Y'all gotta let that shit go. Okay? Ryan Reynolds came up with that whole concept for that particular movie. That was his DNA all over that. Marvel's had a little bit of dips, but I think that this movie probably will bring back their magic, given the fact that as the conception of this movie has come about was when Kevin Feige had his power back. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to go through all the checks and balances and whatever else like this. They slowed down their production on a bunch of other things. So I think this movie is going to do just fine. It's going to be dope. You're introducing the X-Men. Hopefully, I'm sure they're going to stick the landing. But you're not going to please everybody, but it's still going to be pretty fly. Regardless, there's so much in this movie that, in a weird way, it sounds kind of weird to say, there's so much going on in this movie that I don't think it can fail. Because it's kind of like, the law of numbers. If you're making a bunch of sales calls, if you call like 100 people, you're going to make a handful of sales. So there's so much going in this movie.
Right.
Someone's going to grab a hold of some shit and be like, yo, I like that. I didn't really care for that. But fuck, this part right here, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to do great. Here's the real question. I'm talking to Martin Scorsese out there. The real gauge is going to be, is it an amusement park or is it cinema that wins the day? That's going to be the real fun, because there's people like on Martin Scorsese's side when he said, all these comic book movies, that ain't cinema. Well, I think it is.
Whatever.
I personally think it is.
It is. It
is, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be interesting to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Amusement park or cinema. Either way, we win. Either way, I win.
I think all of the Avengers were all cinema. The way it was shot, how the scope of it, everything, that cinema itself, the storyline, like everything is there. It's like, come on, guys. If you look at this, any director would tell you, like, this is not, you're not looking at the Blue Beetle. You're not looking at that scale. You're looking at an enormous scale. So in the depth of like just the aesthetics and everything else, the storyline, the whole deal, the seriousness that every actor took for those characters, everything was very, very deep. So yes, especially when it comes down to the Avengers 1, and of course, the second one, and of course the end game. And it's not going to change because the Russo brothers will say, we need to up that from Endgame. Like they already said it's going to be bigger than Endgame. Well, not this one, the second one is. That's what they said. So I'm like, good God, like what are they going to do? So they're already planning it. It's like, listen, if you don't like this one too much, wait till you see the last one. And it's like, you're going to see shit that you haven't even seen. In fact, you're probably going to see shit you didn't even know we can do. So I think that, yes, you're right, Justin. I think there's no way this is going to fail. It's just a matter of like rewatchability. But I think that being that, the Russo brothers did Endgame and the other one, right? I think that they said, you know what? We're just going to copy template. Copy paste. We already know it works. So why try to? We're just going to add stuff to the source, but just leave the base. Everyone loves it. We're not going to change it. It's going to have the same look, probably the same music. Sometimes they're going to have the same, some of the same costumes coming back. You're going to have like the same things almost coming back, and they're going to drop some new stuff in there. They said, but why reinvent the wheel? We already know it works. So, and like you said, Justin, it's going to work because we like it. But I think that's why I asked you, like, who you really think is going to like blow it up in the first weekend. And I agree. As good as Dune is, as big as it is, yeah. But when it comes down to before we close out, man, I know we said this about a half hour ago, but we do say this for real. We do say this for like the Oscars. Because hey guys, we love like award shows. It's just fun. It's just fun to see who gets it, even if it's not fair or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fun. Okay. What movies do you think are going to be the ones? Maybe we just said it. That's really going to be the real concern of like it's going to be one of these guys. And no one, everyone else is just there for this is just to fill up the freaking numbers. But these are the ones that actually have a really good chance of getting the like picture of the year. Even when it comes down to say, hey, let's just go for it, Justin. Let's go for it, yo. Best actor. I mean, it's like you can see it already. Who can that possibly be? Matt Damon's going to get nominated for Best Actor, hands down. That's saying he's going to win, right? We said that Odyssey is going to be for Best Picture, Dune, Avengers. Who do you think is that fourth one? Like, it's three, but it's always, you're going to be that dark horse, that one is like, you know what? That motherfucker could sleep. And if he doesn't, it may not win Picture of the Year, but you think that something from it is going to win something from it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You know what? I can't think of anyone right now.
I've heard.
I'm looking at,
real quick. You know what I'm saying, before we get up out of here, so I'm starving. But I've heard that Obsession is getting some talk. I don't know how big or how legitimate, but
I think Obsession is going to be the one.
I honestly do think it would be dope. Whether it wins or not, I think it would be huge. I mean, Sinners is, I wouldn't necessarily personally call Sinners a horror movie, but it's definitely got horror elements to it.
Yes.
Right? And there's like a lot of blood, and it's rated R, all those different types of things, right? Obsession's kind of in the same vein, where Obsession, the writing in that movie, goddamn. So I think if that movie was nominated, that's a huge push for genre films.
Yeah. I think, you know what?
Even for screenplay.
For screenplay, I think it can get nominated for that. But I tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to call it out. All right, I'm going for it right now, guys. Record this, okay? So, and I'll tell you why I'm saying this real quick before we run. Obsession. What's her name? Indy Never Ready, right? She killed it. I saw it. I don't know if you saw it yet. Did you see it yet, Justin?
I did see
if it comes out,
loved it.
Did see, right? So Indy killed it. I mean, her range. I mean, she killed it. And there's rumor, just rumor. We don't know how true it is. It's been out there that the director of the new X-Men already reached out and asked, "Hey, would you like to be in an X-Men movie?"
I heard that.
That. So, and she has a new movie coming out. Some other indie movies coming out that she made before all this happened. But I think she's the new It girl for a little while. Like, she's becoming the new It girl. So I think one way to do it is, like, you know what? Give her a nod. Even if she doesn't win the Oscar for Best Supporting, she's definitely gonna get nominated. There's no way if they don't nominate her this year, just nominate. I don't know what they're doing, but there's no way she's not going to get nominated. None. It's got to be. Who else is killing? Who else gave that a performance like that this year at all? Who went that deep? Who went that crazy? Who had all those layers as a character?
That's what I'm about to say.
Layers.
Yep.
Layers. I mean, who did that? Like who this year? Maybe there's someone we haven't seen yet, Justin, because there's a lot of shit out there. But right now, to us,
we still got some movies coming up though.
Yeah. So we do. All right, guys. So yes. So everyone out there, thank you very much. For anyone who watched any portion of this live performances, streaming of me and Justin Green. Here, who is the new director of marketing for GainsCon Media Incorporated, is going to be here in December 4th and 5th at the Brendan Theater in Las Vegas. Yes, I know I'm rambling really fast, but go ahead, check us out. It's real. I want to get us out of here, and because we had such a great time tonight, and I want to say, everyone out there, thank you very much for anyone who watched any portion of this. And if you are watching us now on a rerun, on a tape session, thank you too for even clicking play. So, again, I'm Barry Gaines of GainsCon Media Incorporated. You got Mr. Justin Green from Green Screen on YouTube. Check it out. He reviews films. And also check out our dual reviews that we always do every week at Mission Movie Reviews, okay? And YouTube as well. And also, action people out there, filmmakers, creators, please go to Film Freeway and submit your film to GainsCon Film Festival right now. That's going to be in Las Vegas this year. Again, okay? We're a nonprofit, so we'll love your support. And to everyone tonight, have a good night. Thank you again for hanging out with us, and we'll see you on the next run. Bye.
Holla.
Peace. Dude, stop. There we go. Hold on.